Residents in Tshwane and Ekurhuleni can expect disruptions in their water supply. And this as the Rand Water Infrastructure Maintenance Program enters an 8th day today. Several communities have had little to no water during this drive. In a joint briefing with the 3 municipalities yesterday, the utility said Tshwane would be next in line for the upgrades, and the work has already begun. Newzroom Africa's Nqobile Madlala joins us now live from Tshwane. Nqobile, good morning. I know that you've got a couple of interviews you want to get through there, but we've seen some of the pain points of the long-term benefit of these infrastructure upgrades here in Johannesburg, and now it's heading over to Tshwane as well. But one also imagines that the prospect of having clean, reliable water may override the pain of the initial discomfort.
Well, true that, Iman. I mean, you can relate to what Rand Water was saying, that this is something that has been planned as far back as 2009, and that these projects go on 20 years intervals where they are able to upgrade their infrastructure, make sure that they're able to give more people water and that they're able to store some water. But also part of these projects means that they get to refurbish, they get to repair any leaks, any problems there is in the infrastructure, they get to see that. And once they do that, you find that some of these municipalities, just like the city of Joburg said, then they take that chance to be able to look at their infrastructure, be able to also repair their infrastructure so that the people are able to get some water. But now I do have residents in the city of Tshwane who are, of course, anticipating for that time. We know that the city at this point is still pumping at 60% of water, which means even though people may not have water at this point, they might see less pressure. I want to bring in my first guest who's on my left-hand side to speak to us. And I mean, I know that you do have water at this point, but are you concerned at all that this could affect you?
Yes, of course. You know, water is our main resource in life, and we've got to look after it. But I'm very glad to hear that eventually, you know, there's going to be an upgrade which is going to be to the benefit of all the people.
All right. And what would you say the city must do during this time where if people don't have water?
I think everybody is responsible for looking after themselves to gather enough water, especially for the toilet system. So keep water, gather water for the time to come, but it's only going to be an interim period. It's not going to be permanent, but there is hope.
All right, thank you very much. I want to bring another of our guests to speak to us about this. And I mean, we were just having a chat, and your neighborhood has been affected in the past, but not as badly. Take me through what happened at that time.
So at that time, we didn't have water for like 2 days. And then when he came back, it was like dirty water like the whole day. And obviously it affects us because, I mean, schools are opening soon. Children will be going to school. If there's no water, how are they supposed to bath in the mornings? So, yeah.
So what would be your suggestion to the city as they go through this process?
My suggestion is they should probably have tankers, probably per ward, just so we have at least a minimum amount of water to get us through by the day.
All right. Thank you very much. I'm going to come to you just now. I want to bring in Umama. Iman, she was just explaining to us that there's already a long-standing issue in Mamelodi, and Mamelodi is one of those areas that are going to be affected. Mama, Mamelodi gona kunjani?
Mamelodi kushithi sinenkinga yamanzi kakhulu ngoba khona manje thina singabahlali baseyikwata camp asikwazi ukuthola amanzi abaluleke kakhulu. Kufuze ukuthi sithenge amanzi kulabantu abasithelela amanzi. Ujojo oyi-1 kushuthi sithenga amanzi nge-200. Kushuthi manganayo le 200 yinkinga esihlangabezana nayo ke eMamelodi yamanzi naselokishini noma ufika uthi uyofuna amanzi uthuka ukuthi amanzi akhona nabo 3 days 4 days 5 days angekho yinkinga esihlangabezana nayo eMamelodi yamanzi.
Manje mama ningathini thini kwisithi njengamanje?
Kwisithi besingajabula kakhulu mayengasinceda ngoba sinabantwana sinenkinga kakhulu. Amanzi besingajabula mayengasinceda nathi siwathola amanzi ngokufaneleyo.
All right, Sabonga Mama. So Mamelodi, Iman, is one of the areas that are affected, and just briefly, she's explaining to us that they haven't had water. Sometimes they don't have for 5 days, mainly because they're not able to get that water. So they're saying to the city that it would be helpful if they can provide some sort of assistance for them to be able to get water. But interestingly, whilst we're in city of Tshwane, we found a city of Joburg resident who has the day lived when you didn't have water. Tell us a bit about how was that experience?
Yeah, well, recently, like as recent as last week, we were without water for about 2 or 3, I think 3 days. So, yeah, and it's really hard. It's the one thing that I can tell you is you learn to be quite resourceful of how you use water, and also, yeah, you learn that you can get away with less. So, yeah, I think, but it was wonderful the moment the water came back. Everyone was so happy.
I can imagine everyone was relieved. Well, Iman, as you can hear there, you learn to be resourceful, and I think that's what the city of Tshwane has done in their communication, which we are currently looking at this point. And they've already told their residents that they need to ensure that they don't use water or irrigate during the time between 6 o'clock in the morning to 6 o'clock in the evening. They will also explain that people mustn't be washing their vehicles because, of course, this would be a wastage of water. And also just saying that use less time, use a shower, use less time in the bath as well. So there's quite a lot that they've explained here, including swimming pools, covering your swimming pools, and just ensuring that you save water. And I think that's the key elements that the city of Johannesburg's resident is saying, that they learned to be resourceful. And during this time, this means that the city of Tshwane residents also needs to understand that they keep the water for a little bit longer to assist them so that they're able to wait for that time until they have full pressure or have the water back if they don't have at the time.
Nqobile, I'm just chuckling to myself because on a lighter note, I'm wondering if on that communique, there is a tutorial on how to have a bucket bath. I mean, we used to grow up having a bucket bath, and my mom would always say, just wash out the business areas. That's all you need, and you're done, and you're good to go for the day. I won't explain that one too much, but just to the point of being resourceful, I think it's amazing how much you can achieve just by using one bucket of water.